Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? Give you guys 3 minutes to get up in here as usual. Oops, I don't know why that just happened. You're doing that. Quit. I don't know. Sometimes when my iTunes opens up on my Mac, it keeps asking for the password over and over and over again, like 3 times in a row, to where you can't even close it fast enough. I don't know why it does that. Got to figure out how to remove that or make it stop asking or something. So I'm gonna give some time for you guys to get up in here and welcome. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Nick? What's up, D-Rock? What's going on? What's up, Reese? Hello. Welcome. Eric said he got the popcorn, huh? Try to do this. Hope you guys are going to enjoy the title, because I've been seeing a lot of this and I've been wanting to talk about it and give my perspective on all of this high value and all this. That stuff be cracking me up, man. I be listening to a lot of shows. I don't say nothing, man, but I just anyway, I got my own perspective. I can help you guys weave through all that. So we're about 2 minutes in, almost 2 minutes in. I'm gonna wait about 3 or 4 minutes and I'm gonna get started. What's up, L Marshall? What's up, Quentin? Yes, it is, man. It's a beautiful day, man. I took a drive today, man. It was beautiful, man. I'm telling you. I love this sun. Right now in Seattle, it's cold. It's October. It is cold. Hey, Quentin, you're up in Charleston, right? You're up there. Because I'm down in Myrtle Beach, man. So I get to drive down by the beach and other places that they got, cool spots to look at. All right, we got about we'll see how many people get up in here. It says about 18 people up in here so far. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple more minutes. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, right, El Marshall. I know I've been it's a lot out there, man, and I'm gonna make it so simple to where you guys can just weave through all that nonsense. Oh, you in New Jersey, Nick? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Yeah, when it snows up there, don't it? I know it gets real cold up in there. What's up, Nicer? Hello. All right, now let me introduce myself. My name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt, financing everything that goes down in value, and simply cannot figure out why they're living paycheck to paycheck. They just can't figure out, hey, man, I got 2 and 3 jobs. I keep getting raises and I'm still living check to check. All right. So I used to live there for the first 40 years of my life till I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey said, use the math that you learned in grade school, apply it to your finances, and then you'll win with money. What's up, Andre? What's going on, man? And so I took that principle. I took the math. I said, no, Dave, it can't be that easy. And Dave says, yes, it is. Well, he didn't literally say that, and then I did it, and now I'm free. Now I've experienced an unbelievable type of freedom that I never knew existed. And I've been so it's been so amazing. I just had to share, and so now I help other people experience the same thing. And the reason why I love it so much is that it's just basic mathematics, right? So what I do, how I help people get out of the debt matrix, is I expose what I call the glitches in the debt matrix. And the glitches in the debt matrix are things that don't make mathematical sense. Yet people keep doing them, calling themselves homeowners with 30-year mortgages, financing houses, don't have the money for the house and finance the house. And then all of a sudden with a 30-year mortgage, and then all of a sudden believe the equity in the house is theirs that they don't even own, right? Or believing you got to finance a car for 84 months and believe you got it on sale and blah, 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 right? All right. So I wake people up and then like, oh, I never had nobody tell me like that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is it, and it's really, really simple. It can't be that simple, LJ. Well, it is, right? All right. So this is what's up, Hyphy? What's going on, man? Now, lately, I've been seeing a lot of these relationship topics, relationship channels just pop up, and everybody, I mean, these channels be like banging, right? Everybody's looking for the answer, right? And one thing I've been hearing a lot about is like high value. Oh man, if you're searching for a high value person, this person's low value, this person's high. And then I think to myself, well, who determines high value? Only one person can determine high value. You're the only person. So if you hear another person consider somebody called high value, that is only according to them. And whatever that means, who knows what a high value means to them? Somebody that makes 50,000, I don't know, has no kids or whatever. They just make up stuff, right? And people just go for it. I'm here to tell you that high value is determined by you. Okay. And this is from a debt-free perspective. Let me tell you something. I'm gonna make sure I'm crystal clear with this. Get out of debt. Get out of debt. All right. And then you will be able to see through all the bull crap on the channels. Hey, this person should look like this, be like that, have that, this type of job, this kind of college degree. If they're in debt, they're all slaves, man. And once you get out of debt, you won't be fooled by somebody's job or how much money they make or the color of their skin or where they live or whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You won't even care about any of that. You'll see through all the bullshit, all of it. If they're a slave, you won't care what they look like. You won't care. Like, let me give you an example. I hear a lot of this. I hear a lot of them people saying, hey man, this is a high value person is a doctor or a lawyer. If they got $300,000 in student loan debt that they've had for the last 20 years, who cares? Who cares what type of job they are? They're just a slave that's a doctor. They're a slave that's a lawyer. They're a slave that's a pharmacist. High value means absolutely nothing according to who. Like when you hear somebody say, hey man, a high value person is this. When you hear those words come out of a person's mouth, I want you to turn to the person that said it. And I want you to ask that person, hey man, do you still have your student loans? Hey man, is that phone in your hand financed? Yeah, then you shouldn't be listening to that person because their version of high value is diluted. They're a slave trying to give you advice. Once you get out of debt, I swear to God, I swear to you, you will not date a slave. You will go to these channels and you'll just listen to them. Just listen to them and make sure you come from a debt-free perspective. And when you listen to it makes absolutely no sense. None. Now, I'm not knocking anybody. I'm not knocking people's channels or whatever. I just want you to be aware. You come to this channel, I want you to come here and understand what high value means. What that means, high value means different things to everybody that's saying it. A high value could be somebody, hey, that lives in a nice neighborhood. Somebody might think that person's a high value. Who says who? It doesn't mean anything. And I keep telling you, and when, I want you guys to understand, gender doesn't matter. It doesn't matter you're a man. It doesn't matter if you're a woman. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. Debt is the colorblind slave master. It doesn't care because all it sees is green. All of the things you guys are hearing, those are obstacles to keep you confused from seeing the real goal. Get out of debt. You will see through everything. I promise you, will see through everything. That's why when I get on these channels and I listen, I only can stay there like 5 minutes and then I got to get out of there because it doesn't make any sense. None of it makes any sense. But you don't know that when you're in debt because you're looking. There, a lot of people are looking for the answer. Oh my God, what's high value? The first thing that comes to their mind, how much money they make and what type of, because have you noticed every time you social society, when you go around society, the first thing they ask you is, hey, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do? You know why they ask that? Because they want to hear your job so they can determine if you're high value. People don't know that don't mean anything. That don't mean anything. The people with the highest types of jobs, doctors, lawyers, those are the worst slaves. They got the highest in student loan debt. The first thing you need to come across when you come across a person that calls themselves high value, or you hear somebody on their channel determine high value, I want you to get on their channel and say, hey, how do you determine high value? I need to make sure you understand. I need to understand that, right? Because you got these people in these nice houses, right? Hey, well, I live in this neighborhood in this state. I live in Calabasas, California. Do you got a mortgage? Yeah. Who cares where you live? You're just living in the bank's house in California, in Calabasas. That's all. You're just maintaining the bank's house. Those are your slave quarters. If you put it this way, if you have a mortgage, right? Those are slave quarters. You don't own anything. You're just you're living in the bank's house, maintaining their house, and make sure you got insurance on it. You make sure you cut the yard right. Make sure, hey man, you redo the downstairs. The bank says thanks, man. Appreciate you. Then you redo the kitchen. The bank says, thanks, man. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate it. Crazy, man. Now, it's oh my God, it's just so crazy. And when I hear these channels, I mean, some of these channels, man, they be having like a lot of people chiming in, listening, looking for the answer. Oh, this person has to have the answer. No, the answer's within you. Where are you at financially? If you don't even check this out, if you don't even know how much debt you're in, that's where you need to start. You need to make yourself high value by starting with you. So add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals if you're high value or not. If that's in a large negative, yes, including your student loans, yes, including your mortgage. Yeah, yeah. I don't want you guys walking around calling yourself homeowners with 30-year mortgages. Okay, don't do that. Don't do that in public. Okay, don't do that in front of people. You don't know aliens like myself, Andre, SMD, family, hyphy. We're walking around. You can't see us. But when you're walking around calling yourself a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage, you can't see us, but we can see you. Get debt free, and you will see through all of the bull crap on the internet, on social media, on YouTube. You'll see through it all. Non-slaves are high value for sure. Period. Aaron says, "Don't matter how much you make, as long as you, not, as long as you're not a slave." Exactly. What's up? What's up, Antoine? What's going on, man? What's up, Jeffrey? How you doing, man? You right, LJ? The high value talk is slave talk. It's slave splaining. I want you guys to understand something. Now, when I go to these channels, I don't go over there to say, "Hey, you're full of shit," and you don't know what you know. That's business. I want you guys to clearly understand something. When you go to those channels, that is business. Who am I to come over there and disrupt their business? I don't say anything. I just listen for as long as I can tolerate it. That's about it. And then I have to leave because I see these people call in and they're looking for these answers. I just want to jump on and say the answer's within you. It doesn't matter the color of your skin. Don't be fooled by that stupid nonsense. That is the stupidest nonsense I've ever heard in my life, thinking it has something to do with the color of your skin. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Those all that stuff you guys are seeing or hearing, those are obstacles keeping you from seeing the truth. I promise you. What's up, Aletha? Hello. What's up, Dave? What's going on? Andre says they pay the most and brag about it. Yep, pay the most and brag about it. Slaves, they brag about their credit card limits. Why are you bragging about? Why are you? Have you ever heard? Have you ever heard slaves brag about how many credit cards they have, what type of credit cards they have, and their credit card limits? You can't go up to a slave and say, "Hey, man, why are you bragging about the bank's money?" They will look at you like a what? An alien. They will. They will look at you like an alien. What are you talking about? Why are you bragging about the bank's money? That's not your money. Oh man, I'm trying to get that titanium Visa. It makes this sound as it clickety clacks on the table. So what? You mean that cheap piece of aluminum? Oh man, it's unlimited. Unlimited what? What are you talking about? What's unlimited? What? Jeffrey says high value is being totally debt free and tangible, asset rich. Exactly. But you think you can say that to a slave? No, no, sir. Man, I live in Atlanta. They ask, "What do you do?" before they even know you. Exactly. They believe when this is what I want you guys to walk around. As soon as you hear that, as soon as you hear somebody ask another person, "What do you do?" they're really telling you about themselves because they've heard that if you now don't get me wrong, I was wrapped up in it when I was in debt. I used to love walking around telling everybody I was a computer engineer. Hey, my name is LJ, and I'm a computer engineer, system engineer 3. Uh, no, I wish an alien would have stepped out and said, "Hey, by the way, you know that title, your employer gave you that title, LJ. So who cares? They could take it away. It doesn't mean anything." But you know what slaves do? Slaves associate titles with money. If you're a lawyer, in their brains, they think, "Oh, 6 figures. Computer engineer, 6 figures. Doctor, 6 figures." That don't mean nothing. Means absolutely nothing. Nick says the bank is laughing at us. Oh, they're not. You know the difference between us and the bank? Banks trust mathematics. Oh, well, the banks and slaves, excuse me. The banks trust mathematics. Slaves don't. That's it. They're not The banks are not tricking anybody. They're not fooling anybody. They're not doing people wrong. Slaves always talk like that. That's called slave splaining. Andre says they brag about high income and don't realize they are what they're saying. They don't even know what they're saying. That's why I love being an alien. Now, I have to make sure because I know you guys love me to get on camera so you can see my faces, right? I have to put on my game face because it's very difficult for me to stop my facial expressions. But if I don't want slaves to see me, I have to maintain my face. Right? I can't say, "Oh my God, that is so." You can't say that. Can't do that. Dave says, I was seeing a girl recently. She was real cool. Out the blue, she kept pressing me about what do you do, trying to figure out how I earn a living. I never answer the question when people ask. I will never answer that question. I told her in time you'll discover it, but it's not a big deal. She's probably like, "Oh, he's selling drugs." He says, "All them relationship YouTube channels hella fake. And I've never listened to the majority of them. You can tell by the video titles." Exactly. I'm with Hyphy on that one, man. I can't. You could tell by the thumbnails. Hey, you guys, the thumbnails alone should tell you everything you know about the topic of the discussion. The title and the thumbnail should tell you everything. It just But when I say that, I want to make sure this is clear. When I say that, that's my opinion. That's how I feel about it. That's irrelevant. What they're doing is business. Okay. That's how they're making money. Okay. So how I feel about it is irrelevant. I'm not I'm not going to go over to the channel and be like, "Hey, you ain't nothing. You're a liar," and this and that, talk bad about them. That just makes absolutely no sense. None. Nick says, slice through it like a hot knife through butter." Exactly. We haven't talked since then. I bet you haven't. Jeffrey says, "LJ, you are the most plain, straight talking cat out here. No hocus pocus." Hey, Jeffrey, you know what's so crazy? When I say that, people think I be bragging, right? And people and the S&D family members know I'm not bragging. I don't think I'm better than anybody. All I'm using is just basic mathematics. That's it. Nothing special. I'm not being fancy. I'm not saying, hey, I know something you don't. I'm not saying any of that stuff. Advice number 2, stay off these dating apps. Too easy to fake it online. Meet a partner in your real life. Exactly. I'm all about energy, honestly. I am. D-Rock says, yeah. Flim Flam says, so what can I do to be free? You need a plan. Okay. So right now, to be free, first you must know you're a slave. All right. So add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals if you're a slave or not. If that's in a deep negative, you're a slave. That's the first thing. The first thing this is what you gotta do. You gotta add up your savings, add up your debt, right? And when you see that large negative number, here's the hard part. All you gotta do is believe it. That's step one. You gotta believe it. If you don't believe, because this was going to be hard, right? You're going to see that large negative number, but you're going to look around you. You might live in a nice house, you might drive a nice car, but then when you see that large negative number, you're going to say to yourself, how do I have all this stuff in that large negative number? Because the stuff you have is an illusion. It's not real. The bank owns all of it. Retired 2019 says, when I tell a woman I'm retired, the next question is, what type of job did you retire from? I know. Oh man, ain't that crazy? Ain't that crazy? What kind of job did you? They want to know. They want to know. They don't know what they're asking though. Humble Home says, if you're embarrassed by how much the sum of SMD equals, then go to the bank and become a slave to live in a pseudo reality that can disappear as quickly as it came. And the bank, if you don't, put it this way, if you add up your savings, add up your debt, and you don't believe that large negative number, the bank has a plan for you. Okay. It will help you get whatever you want. You just walk into the bank and say, hey, bank, I know I'm deep in the negative, but I don't believe it. Can you help me get a house? The bank's going to say, yes, we can. We sure can. Step right over here into our office, sir. We got this subprime mortgage for you. Elmar says, live debt free, and you can spot a chameleon a mile away looking to run up and change. Exactly. This is what, okay. Man or woman, when you're debt free and you're out there in the dating world, you're not going to date a slave. You're not going to, fellas, you're not going to care how fine she is. I always repeat this. You're not going to care how fine she is. You're not going to care how good the sex is. Even the sex is not going to change your mind. I promise you it's not. I promise you it's not. If she has $100,000 in student loan debt and she's calling it a forever loan, you know for a fact that relationship is going nowhere. Okay. So you need a plan. You need to come see me, man. Come see me. I can help you skip light years. Light years right there. Oh, no, that's not it. SavingsMinusDebt.com. I forgot I changed that. Or you can just email me and we can set up an appointment for a consultation. I'm telling you, man, you could spot. Whew, man, had I known this earlier in life, man, my whole dating life would have been totally different. Put it this way. You know how they have these channels talking about child support, baby mama, drama. I promise you this. You get debt free, you won't let that type of shit happen. You won't have a child by a slave. You won't. Hello, my name's Antoine, and oh, you must have missed a conscious slave. He's a conscious slave. Conscience slave. He's a conscious slave is what he meant to say. And you know what's so crazy, Antoine? I guarantee you, if you said that out in public, they'd be like, why is this man calling himself a slave? Oh, shoot. Antoine, LJ is doing something we all can do. Hey, Antoine, tell people I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not doing anything fancy. I'm not more special than anybody. Yeah, you need to come see me, man, because you're in this. First of all, Flim Flam, you're asking the right questions. You're even here, right? You're even just here in this channel on this live today. All you need is a plan, man. That's hey, you own your own car. Good. This is what I want you to do too, man. If you got a say like your car is older or whatever, right? And you got some friends that got a nice car or a nice house, find out if they're making payments. If they're making payments, who cares what kind of car they're driving? Who cares what kind of house they live in? It doesn't matter. It belongs to the bank. Nick says, believe you're a slave, hard pill to swallow, but the truth will set you free. It's a hard pill to swallow. Big old gigantic pill. Gigantic pill. What's up, Autumn Trees? What's going on? Okay, cool. All right. Appreciate you, man. Anytime you're ready. First step is acknowledge you're a slave. Second step is creating an escape plan. Exactly. And I got the plan for you. I can help you skip light years. Your whole life will change. Your whole dating life will change. Your whole life will change. Okay. Every aspect. And I know when people come to the channel, right, they think it's just about debt and how can debt change my life? Hey, I don't know how else I can explain it to you. Flim Flam says, yes, my thought was to be a slave so my kids could be free. Nah. And the majority of parents think like that, but this is what they're not saying. If you make yourself free, your kids will see that you're free because you'll be different than everybody else. You won't be complaining about bills. You won't be complaining that you don't have any money. You won't be saying stupid stuff like, what do you think? I made of money. Money don't grow on trees. I got this bill to pay. I can't, but you won't be saying stuff like that. And then you will naturally teach your children how to be free. This is what I teach right here is generational. I promise you, once you experience freedom, you're going to naturally teach your children the exact same thing because, they're going to grow up. You got to remember, kids got social media. All right. They got social media. Social media make it seem like you finance everything in life. And this is how you get these young men out here. Hey, man, I got to give me a car, man. If I want a girl to look at me and if she want to see me, no, you don't have to. Hey, fellas, you don't got to do none of that. I promise you, get debt free. The women will see you. They will clearly see that you are different. Okay. They will clearly see you don't give a shit about if they like your car or not. You won't care. Oh, is that your car? You'll say, yeah. That's an old car. You say, hey, whatever. Okay. You don't want to ride in it? Okay, you don't have to ride in it. You'll turn to him and say, why are you still even talking to me? So-and-so, he got this house and this got this car. Then why are you talking to me? I don't get it. Stop talking to me. You'll say it just like that. I know you guys think I'm joking. I'm not. What's up, Careless? I lived debt-free for years. I was 25 then. Can't wait to get back there. Almost there by next year. Huh. Well, in order put it this way, Careless, in order for me to go back into debt, I would have to get into a major accident with no insurance. I mean, a major crash. Something like major would have to happen to me before I go back into debt. There's nothing in the world that I would purposely go back into debt for. I would never do that ever. There's nothing. So when I hear people say, "Hey, man, I was debt free before," I'm just like, I don't really know what that means, And I'm not saying I know why what caused you to and not to, but when I hear that, that seems kind of weird to me. What's up, Steven? All right, man, you're here. I know you're ready because you're here. It's so crazy, Flim Flam. This was at first when I first started this, I was trying to save everybody, right? But I understand that the majority must remain slaves. As long as the majority remain slave, dating apps will continue to make multis of millions of dollars. Dating apps, dating websites, relationship channels, they will be forever in business because they don't know the main culprit is debt. Slaves, you got to remember, slaves date slaves. They think job titles have something to do with slaves, have kids with slaves, slaves partner up. And then when they get together, what do they say the number one reason for divorce is? Oh, money's the number one reason for divorce. No, it's not. It's debt. When two slaves get together, they start blaming each other why they're in so much debt, whatever. It's called slave splaining. Kelly says, sad part is guy was dating, then was jealous of me and we broke up. He regrets it now. Because if you're this is why I say don't this is why I say you won't date slaves because they won't understand you. Plus you won't be able to hang around them because you'll see them do slave things, right? They'll knowing that they got student loan debt, they'll finance a car, a brand new car, or they'll go on vacation, or they'll get a car and a brand new phone every year. And then if you turn to them and say, hey, why don't you stop buying a phone every year and just pay off your student loan? They'll get mad at you. Oh, I'm trying to live life now. You only live once. This is what slaves say. They don't really know they say this, right? They don't know they say stuff like this, right? Oh man, you only live once. When I'm gonna die and not have fun and this and that. No, you're just gonna die a slave. That's all. You gotta when you go on vacation, you gotta ask the plantation manager to say, hey, can I go on vacation? The plantation person that's in charge of plantations got to approve it, and then you go on vacation, and then you got to come back to the plantation. You ain't going nowhere. What's up, Naima? Shout out to Naima for the $2.99 super chat. Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. What's up, NC Biggs? What's up, CC Bird? CNC Bird. How you doing? What type? Hey, Flim Flam. What type of mortgage do you have? What type of mortgage do you have? Kayla says he's not lying. I passed up plenty of men due to their jealousy. See, that's why you won't even entertain it. See how she's going through these things. The jealousy. You won't. You say like you meet up with somebody, right? Hey, how you doing? You guys meet up for coffee, right? The first thing I would do is look at their phone. I would look and see if they got the latest iPhone. And this is now I'm gonna give you guys some questions that the slaves won't know. I always say this. You see somebody with a new iPhone, you ask them, hey, how much was that phone? Is that you go like this? Hey, is that the new iPhone? That gets them excited because they feel proud that they got the latest iPhone, right? Is that the new iPhone? They'll say, yeah, that's the new iPhone. You say, how much did that cost? Now, if they say I don't know, that means they financed it. And if they financed the cell phone, you don't want it, that's a slave. You mean to tell me they don't even have enough money to buy a cell phone, right? But if they bought it, they will tell you exactly how much that phone costs. Because if you dropped $1,300 on the phone and somebody asks you how much that phone costs, you're going to say $1,300. You're not going to say, I don't know. What's up, NC Biggs? I think I understand why people can go back into debt. Please tell me why. I would like to know. Carla says, I made a mistake, but I'm learning. Someone messed up on my taxes, and it's an expensive lesson. And so this is what I want you to do. Make sure, Careless, this is what I want you to do next time. Okay. When you're debt free, your credit report looks a certain way. It's one page, not the credit score. Don't worry about the credit score. Slaves worry about the credit score. Credit score is nothing more than a reward from the bank for staying in debt. So when people stay in debt, they make payments on time. The bank rewards them with a credit score. Hey, slave, thank you for doing what we tell you to do. Thank you for staying in debt. We're going to reward you with this mysterious number that means something only to slaves. Okay. The next time your credit report is all zeros under the debt part. So anybody that's doing your taxes, I know it's going to be weird, but you ask them, hey, before you do my taxes, I need to see your personal credit report. The personal credit report will tell you if they know how to do taxes. Hold on for a quick second. So you'll never have that happen again. So you always ask them, like say like this, you go into a fancy tax person's office, okay? You walk into their office, right? They always post their degrees up on the wall proudly, right? And they got student loan debt. They don't even know it, right? So when you walk in, I want you to check the year that they graduated from college, okay? And then I want you to sit down at their desk. Okay. And this is where they had their kids all over their desk. Hey, that's Susie and that's Bobby and this and that. And then you ask them, hey, you still paying on your student loans? And then when they tell you yes, I want you to look at the children on the desk. And then I want you to say, I want you to go 2020, if you did it this year, 2020 minus the year they graduated. And then I want you to say to yourself, damn, that's older than their kids. And then you look at the kids on their desk, you're like, wait a minute. Your student loans are older than your kids, and you talking about messing with my money? No. And then you leave their office. They don't even, check this out. They don't even own the framed diplomas that are on the wall, but they're going to sit down and tell you about your money. That makes absolutely no sense. No sense. Retired says, I thought it was going to be easy to find a single woman who's probably debt free. What you saying? Angel says, how do I let my girlfriend that I don't look at other girls when I am? How do I let my girlfriend that I don't? I'm not quite sure what you're saying. I'm not quite sure what you're. How do I let my girlfriend that I don't? I don't know why are you even discussing that? Why are you even saying that? You got to convince her that you do. You look at other girls? If you do, you say I do. What are you blind or something? I don't get it. When they do stuff like that, that's their problem. That's not your problem. Son of Israel says, I always thought the only live once things was such bullshit. Exactly, it is. That's what slaves say. When they okay, check this out. When slaves make up, so when you hear a slave say a student loan is a forever loan, that means they've given up on ever paying it off, ever. Okay, so then they start saying things like that. Oh, you only live once. What I'm gonna just live and work and pay bills? I'm gonna live my life. Yes, you are a slave all the way until you're dead. You sure are, the way they want you to. NC Big says people get stuck with friends and family they are with and allow the feelings to make them make decisions to get in debt. Sure do, all the time. Thank you for shouting that out nicer. Appreciate you. What I'm asking, do you have a conventional? Do you have an FHA mortgage? Do you have a VA mortgage? What type of mortgage do you have? Retired 2019 says debt free being in her 50s. I was wrong. Debt free being in her 50s. Jeffrey says, I've been telling the brothers buy some land straight up. Most tangible asset on earth. Yep, sure is. I'm telling people, hey man, get a paid off house. Don't even, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Jeffrey, but I'm just saying in general, get a house and pay it off. If you pay your house off, you will be financial. Okay, let me put it this way so you guys can understand. Okay, so you guys can understand phantom income. There's trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt, trillions with a big fat T. Okay, T. More money that you probably will never see in your life. That's millions of people walking around calling themselves homeowners. If you pay your house off, you will be financially ahead of them all. You'll be that one move alone, you'll be financially ahead of millions of people, millions. On top of that, you pay your house off, you will never have rent or mortgage payments again for the rest of your life. For the rest of your life, you'll never have a rent or mortgage payment. Can you imagine how fast your money will stack? Now, if you do that, it's a double-edged sword, because if you come across a person with a nice house and they got a mortgage, I'm not saying nothing's wrong, but the first question, if you have a paid off mortgage and you get with somebody you're dating, you start to date and they got a mortgaged house, you're going to ask them, hey, when are you planning to pay off your house? And if they say, oh, 30 years, you're going to be like, now you're going to rethink that whole dating scenario. because you're not going to date a slave. 30, if put it this way, I don't know how the banks convince people that it takes 30 years to pay off one house. I have no idea how they did that. But if you pay your house off, you do what it takes to pay your house off, you're not going to date a slave. I promise you. Jared says, I parted ways with a woman I was dating 8 months ago. She had $100,000 in student loans. She bought a house and wanted kids. She is now pregnant by someone else. You better believe it. Next thing you know, they're going to be in court for child support because slaves really don't understand how that all works. They want to blame their situation. If you have a child by a slave, right, and then they get on hard times, they're going to naturally blame the other parent. The other parent's not helping enough. They need more money. They're not barely surviving. If they lose their job, like if the parent if the mom with the child, she loses her job, or she just not, maybe she just don't like working. I don't know, but it's going to be blamed on you, and then the state is going to come in and assist. I want you guys to understand something. Child support is a business. Okay, that's straight up business. NC busy as a bee, but I'm good. And oh, he's talking. Okay. What's up, Atticus? I'll be seeing you on Instagram, man. What's going on? Yeah, you guys are here. Let me put this link up here. If you guys want to ask me some questions. If you're new to the channel, you can reach up and say, how can I can give you some relationship advice from as far as debt, from a debt-free perspective, because I want you guys to understand this is a major piece. Your whole life will change. Your whole entire life will change. It will. You won't be fooled by people trying to take advantage of you. You just won't even allow it because they won't even get close enough to even do it. Let's see here. CNC says, I failed. I failed in and out of. I flailed in and out of debt from 20s to 30s. Met hubby 7 years ago in debt. He was sizable student loan debt. We married with the understanding of getting back to zero in 2 years into marriage. How'd that work? To me, honestly, when I think about relationship, if I say like this, if I come across somebody, well, I'm in a relationship right now. I'm just saying, if I was single, if I was in a relationship and I come across somebody in debt, if they're not already working on getting out of debt, I'm not gonna assist them. This is something you got to start yourself. That's just like I remember when I was like really, really into working out and fitness, I would come across some women, and next thing you know, they all of a sudden when we start dating, now they want to get and start working out. No, they're just doing that because I'm doing it. They got to be doing it for themselves. TF SMD is not a dating coach. CNC says finish line is so close now. Okay, you guys are doing it together. December 20 didn't do it the optimal way, but we knew how to juggle the numbers to get there as fast as possible. Lesson learned. We see money so much more clearly now. Congratulations. Congratulations. You know what, Frank? This is what I was thinking, right? You got to remember, slaves really don't want to hear what I got to say. They slaves believe it's not about money. It can't be that simple. It can't be just simple math. None of that can be. It can be like that. They just don't think it's possible, right? It's got to be something else. It's got to be these dating coaches. They got to have the answer. No, they don't. Half the dating coaches on YouTube, they're in debt. They're slaves. Don't be fooled by the backgrounds. Don't be fooled by how they speak or how they're dressed. The majority of them are slaves. Okay. Atticus says, piece of advice: if you can't be yourself around that woman, you have no business keeping her around. Let that go like the wild bird it is. Let that go like the wild bird it is. Okay. Now, Flim Flam, I want you to understand something, okay? And this is because I'm debt free. By the questions you were asking, I already knew you had a subprime mortgage. I already knew you did. Now, it doesn't matter how I know. I mean, it does matter how I know because I want you to know how I know, right? I want you to understand that subprime mortgages are designed for slaves. Because if you understood money, there is no way in a million years you would ever sign on the dotted line for a subprime mortgage. You would never do that, ever. Put it this way. If I walked into the bank, we're looking for a mortgage, the bank wouldn't dare insult me with a subprime mortgage. They wouldn't dare insult me. If they came out and said, "Hey, we got this FHA," I would just get up and walk out the bank. I wouldn't even say a word. They'd be like, "Hey, Mr. Young, where you going? What do you mean, where am I going? What, where did you came to me with that? Why do you think I'm leaving?" See what I'm saying? Frank says, "Can't wait to finish paying off my only debt, my mortgage." Hey, man, I'm with you, man. I'm excited for you. I finally got my sister to pay her house off. She had the money. She finally gonna do it. Angel says she feels like I look at most women when I have told her that I don't, but she strongly disagree with me that I do, and I don't know how to make her believe me. That's not your job. This is what you do, Angel. You say, "Hey, I told you once that I don't. Don't ask me again." That's what you do. You say, "Hey, didn't I tell you I don't? Yeah, I told you that already, right? Don't ask me again." And she's gonna say, "What if I do?" You say, "I'm gonna leave you." What do you mean? What do you mean? You think I'm gonna stay here for the rest of my life saying you asking me that same question over and over? It's not gonna get, Angel. It's not gonna get better. Don't be fooled like a lot of slaves thinking marriage is gonna solve it, thinking a brand new baby is gonna solve it. No, none of that is gonna solve it. Okay, it's not your job. Those are her insecurities. Those are hers. That has nothing to do with you. Flint Flame says, "I heard you say that about paying of your house off, but I have a big loan." Yeah. Don't worry, Flint Flam. Millions of people do. Millions. Thank you, Nicer. She found a sucker and trapped him. Yeah. And when you guys, when I'm looking on these relationship channels, and when you hear words like simp and sucker and this, you get out of debt, you will know those are just words that mean absolutely nothing. Hey, that's a simp. When I look around, I say, what's that definition to you? What's that mean? Whoever says the word, I always look at the person and say, what does that mean to you? Because you got to remember, rich. When you hear somebody says rich, the definition of rich is different for each person that says it. Nothing's the same. What's your definition of rich? Oh man, $100,000 in the bank. Oh, okay. Well, I guess that's your definition of rich. Ivy says, "Angel, don't lie to your woman. Majority of men in relationships look at other women. If you're on of them, don't lie about it. Tell her the truth and make her feel certain it goes no further than looking." Yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect. Be okay. Listen, okay. I'm gonna use myself as an example. If I was single and the debt free person I am today, I would never lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. So say like this. I'm out there. Maybe I just want to have fun. I just want to have, I want to have friends I want to be friends with benefit. You come across a woman, you tell her that. You give her the option to say, "Hey, I'm cool with that." So if she takes it upon herself to think she's going to change your mind, if she's going to put it down on you, especially if she's in debt, right? Like if I come across a woman and she says she's $100,000 in debt, I'll just say, "Hey, we can kick it, but we're just going to be friends. We're not going to be anything more." She's going to say, "Why?" I'm going to say, "Because you have $100,000 in student loan debt. You're a slave." Now, if she takes offense to that, cool. Or she might say, "Hey, I'm cool with that," and then they might think they're going to change their mind later. You just, every time after a sexual experiment or experience, you remind them, "Hey, by the way, this doesn't change anything." Why do you keep saying that, Linnell? Because I just don't want you to forget. I don't want time to go by and you think things change because we're hanging out, because you could literally like hanging out with the woman, right? And having fun and this and that. You just say, make it clear, nothing's going to change. I won't check your phone. I don't care who else you date. It's none of my business. Call me when you call me. Leave it in their court. Okay. And always be 100% honest. And then when you're true to yourself, you can be true to them and the people around you. Women will respect you more. Even though they might not like what you're saying, if they run to tell their girlfriends, "Oh, he wasn't shit. What did he do, girl? He told me the truth. He said I wasn't the only person he was dating." Oh, okay. Well, I guess. James says, "Should I take 18,000 out of my 401k to pay off my house?" Hell yeah. Hell yes. Right now, you could probably pull it out with no 10% penalty. You got up till I believe up to the December 31st. Check it with your retirement plan or your bank or whoever but you can take some money out without the 10% penalty. President said so. Elmar says, "Damn, LJ, if women say she a homeowner making payments, run." I wouldn't. I wouldn't necessarily run. And if I come across a woman that she says she owns her own house, first I'll listen to see if she's going to call herself a homeowner. That's sign number one. If she believes she's a homeowner with a 30-year mortgage. So if she says it, I'm gonna say, "Hey, when are you planning on paying off that house?" If she says 30 years, I'm like, "Ooh, yeah, that's a problem." She's gonna be like, "What? Everybody doesn't know. Only slaves do that. Only slaves believe it takes 30 years to pay off a house, one house." What's up, Cosmic? Oh, Cosmic graced us with her presence. She ain't out in the streets making all these millions of dollars. She decides she can come on alive. Thank you, Cosmic. Okay, appreciate you. All right, you can leave a few scraps for everybody else. Appreciate you. I hate to tell you this, fellas, but no woman should be getting pregnant these days. Too much birth control out here for that, and that's real talk. Atticus says, "LJ, you hands down offer the most cogent, did I say that right? Financial advice in this entire space. It absolutely works, yet others want to complicate it with all sorts of exotic accounting techniques." I know, right? But hey, but you got to remember, Atticus, that's how they make money. Okay, they got to make it convoluted, make it all confusing, add all this fancy jargon. Like when you hear people say use words like leverage, assets, all those words mean different things. That you got to say when you hear somebody use the word asset, you got to ask them, what does asset mean to you? What does leverage mean to you? Now, if you come across somebody like Cosmic and you say, "Hey, Cosmic, what does asset mean?" She's going to tell you what it really means. But then you come across a person that says, "Hey, man, my house is an asset. What type of mortgage you got?" "Oh, I got an FHA mortgage, but everybody around me told me it's an asset." No, it's not. No, it's not. You don't own it. If it's down on the books, it's an asset to the bank, not you. Mark says, "Just today, I took money out of my retirement that I don't have to pay back because of COVID. I'm paying all of my taxes and credit next week. I'm dreading paying it, but I want to be debt free." And this is what I want you to look at it, Mark. This is how I want you to look at it. See how you said you're dreading paying it? It's already gone. It's been gone. Paying it back that's part of the process. You must feel what you already spent. You must feel it. It doesn't it doesn't matter if you're in debt. It doesn't matter if it's in a retirement account, if it's under your pillow, if it's under a money market account, if it's in a bank. It's not there. That's an illusion. Boss says, "About how sure are you that the housing market will fall?" I agree. It it will also. Millions of people are out of work. Millions. It seems when I talk about the housing market crash, uh, this just seems obvious to me. Okay, I'm not even. Businesses are closing, millions of people out of work. That naturally means millions of people can't pay their mortgages. Doesn't that seem that seems obvious to me. And I want to tell you something, Flim Flam. You're asking the right questions, man. You're asking the right, and I want you to understand. You are asking the right questions. Slaves don't know to ask those type of questions. You guys come on this side, your whole entire life will change forever. Not just the money. You'll see through all the fake people. You won't be fooled by their fancy cars and suits and all the stupid nonsense. You won't be fooled by any of it. You won't be fooled by relationship channels. You won't. This high value bullshit, it's just so stupid. Every time I hear high value, this is considered high value. That is the stupidest nonsense. It is so dumb. I be shutting my laptop so fast, click, I'll be slamming my own laptop. I'm gonna break my laptop trying to Atticus says, facts, LJ, no back and forth with her. She don't like it. She can go back to where she came from. Exactly. You guys, and I know you guys think I'm joking. I'm not joking. You will, fellas, if you're embarrassed, I mean, if you're kind of shy to approach a woman or she's fine, or, because this was dudes think naturally, because I used to think like this too, right? You'll see a fine ass woman, right? And you'd be like, oh man, I'm sure dudes, she got all kind of dudes talking to her all the time. I'm just going to be another dude. So what? You get debt free, your approach will be very, very different. I promise you. You don't have to come up like a Mac Daddy and all this other. You just walk up to her and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's she going to say? No? Okay, well, see you later. Oh, I'm looking for this dude. Okay. What's up?
Yo, Wagwan, large ups.
What's up, man? I do it with your ass.
All right, see. Hey, I'm gonna make this one quick, but I just had to come in and drop a little bit of game for my man's. I think it's Angel Morales, the one who asked that question.
Mm-hmm.
And I got to because I hear this one, and I advise so many brothers on this all the time. Listen, at the end of the day, we all men. Obviously, we all like, at least most of us, we like some women. Even if you get with a woman, that don't mean that your eyes are not going to wander off to another woman. It ain't nothing it ain't nothing wrong with that.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
As long as you can control yourself and handle yourself. Self-control, what I mean by that, looking. You might look at something and that's it. Hell, even look, these women out here, they even will tell you, oh, this woman, beautiful thing. Even they'll tell you these women is beautiful. So it ain't no reason to lie about it. Now, with the brethren right here, Angel, listen, I can't say for sure that you lying, but all I'm saying is this. You a man, just like most of us. We all like to look at things, you know what I mean? It ain't nothing wrong with that. It's having self-control, and it don't go past looking. It ain't nothing wrong with that. So if your woman feels that you lying to her about that, she might be able to see it or hear it in your tone, your body language. But one, you shouldn't be lying to her about it anyways, if that's truth. Now, only you know if it's true. If you want to come and say it's the truth, or if you don't want to tell if it's the truth and you don't want to say it, whatever. But only you know if that's true. If that's the truth, it ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm saying to you. Tell that woman, yeah, my eyes do want. I don't want any of these other women but you. That's why I'm with you and no one else.
Yeah, it's natural, man. It's natural to look at beauty. It's just that, but it don't go any further than that. I'm the same way, man. I see, but I don't do nothing. I just, just keep on driving or whatever I'm doing. Ain't nothing.
Exactly. It ain't nothing wrong with that. Like I said, self-control. Now, this is a thing that you need to hear. You might want to look deeper into this, where these accusations coming from. Whether you do it or not, you might want to look deeper into where these accusations come from.
I know where you're going with that. I do.
Because that's what she's doing, accusing you. That's just a symptom of something else. She's having either some doubts about you or some types of fears regarding you being faithful. So you might want to just try to have a real conversation with her, tap into this, and figure out where this is coming from. Because that's
what's crazy, Hypey? Sometimes when they blame you, it's always them. Sometimes it's them. trying to blame you what they doing,
Saying it could be something with her, or like I said, it could be something that she may have caught, seen, or heard about you, and she ain't being straightforward with it, but she's showing a symptom of not having trust for you. So once again, if I don't know if you want to come on, or if you even willing to say whether you really do look at women like most of us even do, but one way or another, you got to have a conversation with that woman and assure her that y'all guys ain't going no further than just looking at a woman. Know what I mean?
Yeah, that's and I'm 50, man, and I'm debt. I just keep repeating this. Once you're debt free, it's different. I can't really explain it any different because if I was debt free younger, my dating life would have been different. It just would have just. I got 3 adult boys now, but I gotta say, if I was debt free, I probably wouldn't even have kids right now. I probably, because I wouldn't have had kids. Not saying that the women that I had the kids by are wrong or bad or evil, but I just know we wouldn't have been compatible compared to the person I am today. It just wouldn't have happened.
Most definitely. Even myself, I don't have children, but once again, I'm a man. Hell, I like to, at least when they was open, I like to go to strip clubs. I spend lots of money on women that I would never touch personally, that, by choice. But yeah, so hell yeah, I'm looking at them. That don't mean that I'm gonna do something with them. So it's nothing wrong with what he's doing. I would just say, that woman, you really don't need to be lying to her about nothing, especially this situation where it's just so common, because y'all both got to remember, you got with her because you seen her, so you looked at her when you approached her. Ain't nothing wrong with looking at a woman.
Yeah, and how old are you, man? Was Angel right? No, not you, Hyphy. I'm talking about Angel. If he's still listening, how old are you? He sounds young the way he's asking those questions.
Yeah,
so if you can just throw that up in there.
Yeah, if he's still in there, I hope he hears the information. But this is what a lot of the younger brothers, and unfortunately some of the older ones also, they just need to hear this info. Because lying to a woman, you should never have to be lying to a woman. I just heard you say something else about child support and what was the other one you said? You said child support and something else. But if you a man really taking care of your business, you won't even have those situations. People think because you get a divorce, now you separate, so now it's child support. Nah, I know a few brothers that I didn't coach, help them be in situations, even though they split up, they didn't have to pay child support because they were still taking care of their business financially without that.
And so crazy, and say because I'm not saying that just because you get with somebody and you're both debt free that the marriage is going to work out. I just think the probability, if you guys get a divorce, you guys will be able to sit down and say, okay, babe, or honey, or whatever, we had kids. Okay, how should we do this? Okay, you're going to take care of them. You're going to keep them with you. I'll pay you this, and it can just it just can be said. You don't need the courts to do it. You just do it amongst yourselves.
Exactly. L. Marshall said, "Is Angel debt free?" I mean, hey, he can answer that question if he's still in here, but that question, it really don't even apply to this specific.
To that, see, exactly.
Yeah, you should really, you just shouldn't be out here lying to any of these women. You don't got to. That's what I'm saying. If you like to do the other things on the side, whatever, you're gonna have your best chances when you just be honest with a woman. She might understand.
Your life will be better. Her life will be better. She will know where she stands with you. Just be honest, for sure.
Yeah. And Cosmic said something about okay, well, we got NC. Big ups, NC. Walk one.
Oh, what's going on, everybody? I wanted to throw in a little bit of if Angel's having this problem, he probably financially wise, he probably should be he would feel a little bit more confident, more control of the situation if he was debt free. First off, because a lot of guys, they kind of have so much other stuff going on in their life. It's easy to get distracted by the small things in life, like this is small. What he's going through right here is small. It's something small that's being made. It's probably because of a lack of a communication or whatever. But if he was probably like LJ says, if he was debt free, then he probably wouldn't have to worry as much because these little things wouldn't bother him as much. I know it doesn't bother you, Hyphy, and I know it doesn't bother LJ. So these things don't. Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't even get that far. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Right here, Toronto's asking, how do you monitor a potential partner's finances? What if you meet them and then they're debt free, but they start accumulating debt? And when put it this way, if they're debt free, Toronto, first of all, when I meet a woman like the woman I'm with now, I asked to see her personal credit report. That was the first question. She thought I was joking. I was dead serious, right? And if they're already debt free, I promise you, they're not going to go in debt while they're with you. Okay, they're debt free for a reason. You know, regardless if they're with you or not. So they're not gonna do that.
I think to add to your scenario, what does this say? Iron sharpens iron, or steel sharpens steel. So if y'all are together, and she knows your habits, then I doubt she'll go into those kind of negative habits if she was really debt free in the first place. I mean, it doesn't make sense if her spouse has been a certain way with money and she's been a certain way with money, and then all of a sudden she starts accumulating debt. The only reason why I say that those kind of things would happen is because of family outside interferences, like with your feelings, like you say, LJ. The only thing can separate you from your money is your feelings, and that would be like money, like something serious happened. And even then, most people that are debt plan for those kind of scenarios. So yeah.
Go ahead and finish what you were saying, Hyphy.
No, I was just saying, you know, at the end of the day, you just don't got to lie to no woman, period. It don't matter what the situation is. That's just one of the weakest things you do. It's not, you know, because it's just being unfaithful, but as a man, it's just being weak. It's a real weak tactic. You don't got to lie to a woman. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, you don't. You don't.
I agree.
What's up, Nicer? Go ahead. Hey, what's up?
Oh, I'm doing good. I would just like to add that as far as relationship YouTube dating coaches go, as far as the women's side, from what I've seen, watching YouTube review videos, that these women dating coaches are bogus. Based on the fact that when men say we are simple, when they say that to a woman, what they mean to say is we keep relationships simple. So there isn't any need for all of that so-called advice for women as far as relationships go. From what I've seen, on the relationship channels that I do follow on the men's side, they just ask women to be fit, feminine, and friendly. And with something I've practiced in my own relationship experience that I've had in my life. But yeah, I agree that, and I do believe that men say we are simple. They mean we keep relationships simple. You don't have to do all the extra stuff that these so-called level up women dating coaches are preaching on YouTube. To me, that seems like they are nothing more than manipulation tactics for any woman that looking to seize power and control over the relationship of any man that she may be interested in. If that's making any sense, what I'm saying so far?
Oh yeah, people don't really understand that all they got to do when you come across a relationship, especially if you're debt free, you say, "Hey, before this goes any further, I need to see your personal credit report." The first thing they're going to say is, "Oh, my credit score is this. I got an 800, I got a 700." Then you got to say, "No, I'm not talking about your credit score. I'm talking about your entire credit report." And then they're going to look at you like you're an alien because I promise you this. out of all the years they've probably been dating, that I promise you, they've never had somebody ask to see their personal credit report from all 3 credit bureaus. Promise that has never happened.
Hey, LJ, I got a question for you. How many women would you say made it to that point with you? I just don't see that, man. I don't see.
What do you mean made it to the? What do you mean made it to that point?
Made it to I need to see the credit report, because I dealt with your analytical skills that most women didn't make it to that point before you was just like, okay, I know what you got going on.
Right. I already knew before that came up. So, but with the woman I'm with today, she didn't display any of those. She wasn't slave splaining. She wasn't doing things like slaves do. So it kind of threw me for a loop. I was like, okay, I got to see your credit report. Maybe you were running from something. I just was. And then when I saw her, she had nothing. Right. I was like, oh crap. Okay. Well, okay, we can do this. Here we go. But not many.
Yeah, that's why I would figure it wouldn't have been many women that would have made it to, because when you're talking about a relationship, you're asking people, real questions that would clearly give them away. Like, I mean, it doesn't take long to find out, oh, you got a nice phone there, oh, what you doing with that? I know you would have hit them with them questions. And by the time they get to needing to see the credit report, you already know what the credit report look like. They got a car on there. They probably got a they got a credit card.
Even with your story, and see, when you said old girl called you up and said, "Hey, we should get married." She was talking to the old NC Biggs. She didn't know she was talking to the old NC Biggs, and you were like, "Hey, yeah, things are a little different now."
Yeah. I was just like, no, that's not gonna work. And Cosmic Wisdom picks on me about that a lot. She picks on me a lot about that one.
I remember when I was coming out of when I was in the process of becoming debt free, I was seeing a woman that I was dating for a few years off and on, right? But then as we further start progressing, because she had a house. And I remember she had refinanced her house one time, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I just refinanced my house." And she had a leak in her roof, right? So she refinanced her house. I said, "Okay, cool." But then she rolled up with a brand new Cadillac, right? And I was like, "Did you fix that hole in your roof?" She was like, "Nah." I was thinking, "Damn, but you financed a brand new car?" And I just knew right then and there that it wasn't going to be able to work, because she was a slave. She didn't know she was a slave.
I want to kind of rebuttal something that Nicer said. You said I guess these men, they say they want a women with the 3 Fs. Can you repeat them, please?
Yeah, it seems that the general consensus among the several different dating channels that I do follow frequently on YouTube, they want women to be fit, feminine, and friendly. Or any variation of those 3 different words will basically be cooperative and be in good health.
Okay, now you see that sound like some reverse psychology type thing. And the reason why I say that, I didn't hear anything about educated. I didn't hear anything about strong. So you want I guess, these men, they like to run around and put their hands on their chest and, all that stuff. Oh, I'm strong. I'm a real man, blah, blah, blah. But what about, why can't a woman be educated? Because I mean, that's philosophy. It sounds like a man that want a woman that's going to be just a, stay at home gal that he can have control of.
Submissive.
Yeah, that he can have control of and have her be dependent on him. So that's some BS. That's some BS too. I'm not down with that philosophy, because
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah, like NC Biggs has kids. I got nieces that helping groom to become women. You got these boys and men out here wearing skinny jeans and dyeing their hair. You think I'm about to train my nieces to be submissive to these types of youth coming up? Hell no.
Come on now. Don't you want them to be submissive a little bit? Come on now.
Hey,
I like Cisco back in the days. I like Cisco.
Yeah.
I build my nieces to be look, if they gonna go out here, if they find a partner, that's all good. But I build them up so they could be independent. They don't have to rely on anybody else. Marshall, if you got something, you could come on here and refute whatever I'm saying too.
Okay.
I definitely. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, to address that, I myself, I was raised by a submissive, feminine woman who was a stay-at-home wife and mother. So that is the way that I carry myself. Now, of course, I also have to use my judgment. So I'm not just gonna go the first guy that I might meet, crossing the street, grabbing my hand and say, okay, you're my woman. I'm not gonna go along with that, of course. But when I'm on these different channels, not one of them has ever given me any pushback or said anything like "get back in the kitchen," which is that's a whole different thing. I'm not you okay. Um, I I'm somebody that does believe in gaining knowledge, and even though I might not have a college education, I have done a lot of reading, research, studying on things like business, because that's I have a high interest in learning business. I've never met a man that said, well, you know what, just get your butt in your kitchen. You can't do any, you can't do, go to school, grow your mind, anything like that. Because well my philosophy is, and I use my mother's example. She spoke no English when she met my father, when they first got married. How she learned, and the way she did it is she would take care of the house first and make sure everything was straight. And when her duties as a wife and a mother were done, any time left in that day, she would focus on learning to read and write. My youngest sister started going to school. When she started school, my mom would sit down with my younger sister in the evening, and that's how my mom learned to read and write. And that's the same thing I carry in my own life today. Like, I'm not in a relationship, but when I was, I took care of that first. And anytime I had leftover, I would go after, what I call chasing my dreams, focusing on my own goals. But I do believe in submission, to answer your question.
I got a question for you. Would y'all say that teaching like younger people, that like those three qualities you were saying, like, fit, feminine, and I forget what the last one was, but if they don't like think about, what about finances? I mean, because even on this channel, we're teaching everybody to be more financially fit. If these women have all these other qualities, but they don't have financial education, then they're gonna end up ultimately being just like the majority of society. And then those men are gonna still feel that pain of having a woman that might be a slave, and then they ultimately are gonna become a slave in themselves because they're tied to a slave. Got to kind of be careful what you wish for, is what I'm saying, I guess.
Oh, yes, I agree. And to go back to the part where I have to use my judgment when I am picking somebody that I do want to get into a relationship with. But to address your question, and this is why I would recommend, first and foremost, LJ's channel for anyone seeking advice, not just relationship, but how to better any aspect of their life. I would say first start with your personal finances. Get those in order, because like LJ says, there's something you can do when you first meet someone that you're interested in a relationship. And this goes for both men and women, but ask them those questions first. Is that iPhone financed or whatever? Because when LJ says people don't trust math, that's a good indicator that, well, if they don't trust math, how are they going to trust you? And if there's no trust in a relationship, how is that going to be a good relationship?
All right, now let me get in my little rebuttal real quick. SOBC and L Marshall. Now look, I never said the woman should be completely independent and not have no need for a man at all. I never said nothing like that. Y'all might be taking it that way. What I said, and y'all got to hear me out. If let's just assume if I have a wife and 2 youth. Now, what if something happens to me one day? I don't want a woman who's not educated and has no ability to take care of those youth now that I'm not around. She can't hold the house down because I'm not around. If she's not educated, if she ain't strong, she ain't going to be able to do them things. You hear me?
I'm just, honestly, I know people don't really, the majority of people don't really understand this, but you could skip all that. Once you're debt free, you're not going to date a slave, educated, independent, mother, college. And society is trapped on this college educated. That don't mean nothing. What if somebody's college educated with $200,000 in student loan debt? The first question I'm going to ask them, hey, did you take math in college? You passed, right? You got your degree, right? Yeah. Then how come you got $200,000 in student loan debt for 20 years? That doesn't make any sense. But people will look at a college educated person over a woman that has basic, just the natural basic skills that you need in life with no debt. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but it'll just save a lot of time.
Yeah, man.
I definitely agree. The big problem with a lot of those groups and stuff is that they're teaching men to focus on what women should do better instead of just bettering yourself. If you first focus on themselves and build themselves up, what is it you say, LJ, all the time? I'm focusing on me. That's what you say all the time.
Yeah, zero starts with you.
That's exactly right. And so where people need to focus on themselves first, because you cannot help anybody. You can't be emotionally involved with a relationship to the level that you would like to be if you're too busy worrying about when your next paycheck's coming from. You're over there sitting there like, well, we could go on that date, honey, but my cell phone bill is due tomorrow. I can't.
And even outside of money, once you find your peace within you, once you find yourself and you find peace within yourself, like you're just totally happy with yourself, you're cool with being by yourself, it's peaceful, you won't let anybody in your life that's going to disturb it. You just won't allow that to happen, because once you know what peace feels like, you just won't allow anybody to come into your life and disturb that peace. You'll just say, nope, sorry.
Yeah, it's very important. I think that your lessons with money it kind of branches over to life in general. You can keep your finances, or if your finances are in peace, then naturally you're going to be more peaceful of a person. You're not going to be stressed out as much, so that's going to keep you in a certain level of peace too, and you won't go into debt. That's why I know what you're saying about a lot of people won't go back into debt for a relationship, and that's basically because they're at peace with themselves. They don't want to go back into that chaos and that noise.
Well, there's a peace, and just like you said, there's a peace that comes with being debt free. It's a lot of noise that's quiet. Debt is no longer part of life. It's not noisy, just like you said. It's just quiet, and you're just not going to have that in your life. It's a game changer.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree with you on that. Just me being at the level, I'm not, like I said, I'm still, just for everybody that doesn't know who I am, I'm still in debt. I'm a debt slave. I'm a slave out here. Okay.
You're a conscious slave, a conscious slave.
And I say those. Did you see that message I wrote on Discord? I say it's worse to be a conscious slave because
I read that. That was funny.
Yeah, it's because it's just like you're a slave, that finally woke up and realized that you in chains, and
Right.
you're trying to get free, but you can't. So you're basically waiting for your term of prison to be over, and so that's what being in this slavery is like.
Well, then
People
quit,
don't
man.
understand.
Put your chains. Just stop right now. Put your chains back on, and don't worry about it.
I mean, I still got chains on. I'm trying to break up out of these.
I'm saying put some more back on then. If you don't,
No, I don't need no heavier
more.
chains. No, I got heavy enough chains. It's annoying enough as it is. And
I know I can hear you coming. Your chains be rattling down the street. I'd be like, oh shit, here come NC.
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy part is when you're having relationships and you try to make those things work, it's almost like I think we all know that, like, what's the number one thing that ends relationships is finances.
Right.
So if finances in relationships, one of the number one things, she could have the bangingest body, she could be the nicest person, she could be the great, she could be the perfect mom, but if your finances are in chaos, y'all situation can still go to bad ways of thinking real quick.
Real quick.
So it's really important to do that. And that's why your channel is so important now. You got son of Israel on there.
Yeah, what's going on, man?
Oh, hey, sorry, just sitting in the background listening to you guys' discussion while handling some work, and yeah, I'm glad you decided to make the topic about relationship advice and kind of relating it to how everything goes with being debt free. Because I'm really realizing that, like, certain things like that they always try to push on you when you're starting to get into like high school and such, like college and all of that stuff isn't needed to have a nice fulfilled life. And I just wanted to kind of go into that as far as how it goes with women as well, because I noticed that there's a lot of people from the side of men and the side of women that say the thing about going and becoming educated. And so I made that comment in the chat about.
What are you talking about? Another channel you was on or something?
Oh no, I'm saying it's kind of like in just off YouTube and on YouTube. There are different channels with women, channels with men too, that will say about going and getting your education. We all know how it goes.
Gotcha.
Okay. Go and get your education. Make sure you have like the resources to, be your own woman, they'll say to them. And like you mentioned, LJ, the whole thing of people going and getting into the student loan debt, that with the degrees that they have, if the jobs aren't out there, they're already not going to be able to pay them off. And if they don't have the right thought process, they're not even going to have it in their mind to pay it off.
Correct. And you got to, at the same time, that's a program. It has to be that way. That's how slaves are made. Student loans.
Exactly. It's how the first world that they call it is basically turning. And I'm finding out you don't need to have like a college education to go and learn and get information. You can do it at home just as well. And for the women that decide to be like a stay-at-home wife and such, they're not just staying at home and they just clean the house and make the dinner and fix the kids up, and then after that they just sit for 5, 6, 7 hours. They just like how it is with men. Even when we get finished with our work, when I get finished with doing my projects and stuff, working on it for a few hours, I don't just sit around. I go and I look and search out information. I go and I pull my book out to learn about like the IT side of things. I go and I get my education without needing to go and get to college, without needing to say, hey, I need to take a loan.
College is a business. I remember growing, because you're 25, right, son?
Yes, sir.
Son of his, yeah. When I was growing up, I was watching TV, and they will make TV. People will make you seem like you are nobody if you're not college educated, right? They'll make you feel like you're nobody if you didn't graduate college. You're nobody if you didn't graduate from a certain college. Nobody ever talked about the student loans that were associated with it. Nobody ever talks about that. They just say, I got this degree, but they don't say, well, your student loans are older than your children. So what is you don't even own the degree that you have on the wall. They don't tell people that. You don't need any of that. You didn't know what?
Oh no, I said I didn't even know it was a real thing because like you said, they don't really try to tell you about the whole side of, hey, no, this college education ain't free. There's a debt that comes along with it, and they don't try to talk about paying it off or anything like that. They just let it know, like, yeah, go to college, and then you're out here in the job world, and now you're the big man now, or you're the big woman now, and it's like
there's trillions in student loan debt, and here you are, a young man that's debt free, got your own place, about to pay that bad boy off, and you come across, and I'm telling you, you come across a woman that's college educated, but she has $200,000 in student loan debt. You're not going to take it serious. You're just going to say, sorry, I'm sorry, I can't. You're in debt. You're a slave. Whether you know this or not is irrelevant.
Right. And
especially being a 25-year-old man, it's going to, your life is going to be different, man. You won't even be able to help it.
Thank you. Yeah, I very much appreciate the information here, and it makes you look at other things because, like you said, you talk about how, or you're talking about how there's people out here that will, go and say like, yeah, I got this title at this job, or man, I've got this type of degree. I've got 3, 4, 5 degrees, and they'll say all that to big their head up to make it seem like, oh yeah, I'm doing amazing. I'm the man out here, but you're not
because that's all they have left. That's all they have left to hang on to is their college degree and their job title. There's nothing else.
Exactly. They're not telling you about all those zeros that, like you said, is on the credit report that actually tells you who they actually are and what they actually are at that time.
And when you pay that townhome off, man, you can't tell nobody. Okay. Okay. I want to reiterate that when you go out on dates and you date women, you can say, hey, yeah, I own the townhome. You can say that because they don't know what that really means. All right. But you can't say you don't owe any money on it. You can't say that. You'll know when you come across the right woman, you'll be able to do that. But you're 25, you're young. You probably won't come across it for quite a while. You can't say that. You just find yourself. I want you to take the time to find yourself and see so you can understand how far ahead of the game you are at 25, and your game is going to be on point. There's not going to be any match to it.
Understood. I didn't want to hog the floor. Did anyone else?
That's all right, man. Anybody, you can jump on here. DV. I don't know if Hyphy got anything to say. I put the link in the chat just in case if anybody else want to jump in there. I see quite a few people in the room. If you guys want to come up and ask some questions, and maybe you don't understand what I'm talking about, maybe somebody wants to come up and share their story, or maybe they want to come up and ask me a question in their particular situation. But either way, you guys can free and you can till any time.
I did want to say something. I realized this. I didn't realize this. I didn't realize this until after your the video you had posted on in the private group. Join the private group, guys. I'm telling you, give you a lot of good information. You remember you posted that video about that woman that said the millennials were ultimately the guinea pigs for the student loans. Student loans were like they upped them to like an unfathomable amount during the millennial era. So they ended up paying all this money. And if anybody during that era was getting in student loan debt, which was around the 80s and the 90s, it was a new way to get people in debt because, credit cards had been seen before, and people were starting to catch on to the credit card game a little bit. So they came up with the student loan thing. I just thought that was really interesting. After watching that video that you had posted on the private chat, by the way.
I got to go back and look. You guys know I'll be posting all kind of stuff up there.
Yeah. It was with that lady that was talking. That lady that was talking about student loans and stuff. And it's just amazing because the student loan the student loan crisis, and I say it's a crisis because anytime you're trillions of dollars in debt for something and with no end in sight to fix, which I would say it's a crisis. So I think a lot of these guys, a lot of these people, they put their titles up there because they don't feel like they can pay the student loans off, or they, some people feel defeated. A big number, they just saying, well, that's something that I can never do. And I think that's a psychological thing. Like people tell themselves, it's just like a house.
That's how slaves are made. That's slave. People with mortgages, those are slave quarters. People got slave quarters in their mind from movies, all the rundown shacks and people look like this. And back in the slave days, no, slave quarters don't look like that. Slave quarters can be anywhere now. It's crazy, man.
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there since I was thinking about what Son of Israel was talking about, how people kind of value their degrees over everything else. The degrees are great, but I think not having that payment, or that debt lingering over your head is probably a lot more secure. I'm working on it. Anyway, I'm gonna let y'all get back to it, man.
Okay. You got anything else, Son of Israel, to say anything? Got anything left?
Yeah, I'll just go back to about how it's kind of more of a thing of just reforming the mindset to say, hey, don't take what they're pushing out there to you about this is what you need to do, because I know that was a thought process I had when going through high school. Is I wasn't really sure. Well, everyone goes through it. They're not sure of exactly what they want to do, and it's pushed to them. Go, oh, here's what you do. You go to a college, and
the kids don't even know what they're going to college for. They're just doing it because they've been told to do it.
Exactly. They're just going in there for whatever, and you see people go in there, they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're already worn out because they've been going to school for every day through 5 days a week. If they had extracurriculars, they had practice afterwards and everything, and they get into the college. Some people don't finish through it. But,
and honestly, I look at public school differently now. I look at it as it's training. It's training now. It's having them practice, get up to go to school Monday through Friday, this many hours, weekends off on holidays, just like the working world. They train them, right? But it's up to you to break free from that. You can break free from it, but because they train you from a young age that Saturday and Sunday are special days. But when you break free from that, you realize Saturday and Sunday are not really special. They're just days of the week, right? They're not anything different. Monday's not bad. Wednesday's not hump day and all this other stupid nonsense, right? It's a training camp. And then they keep growing up and they say, hey, you ain't going to be nobody unless you go to college. Of course, you're in debt. The only way you're going to go to college, you got to get student loans. And then they just do it. Okay, when you get student loans, you land that great job. You can pay back the student loans with that great job you have. All of it's an illusion. Correct. I'm just glad a young man like yourself didn't fall for it.
Yeah, it's a good thing, and there's many other people that's doing it, especially with the way things are moving now. People aren't going, like you said, I don't know if it was you or I might have been listening to Ramil, but people aren't really going into, buildings to, work a job anymore. They're doing everything from your home.
How many of your friends are like you? How many of your friends think like you at your age?
Honestly, I'd say probably one of them that I'm in contact with right now, but he's
One.
not fully into the thinking of it. Like I
Right.
directed him to your channel. I don't know if he's been on here and checked it out, but
If he did
I
check
hope
it
he
out, he
does.
would have told you. He would have told you. He would have already talked to you. But now tell me this: how's your dating life? Is it priority? Is it not? Does it happen when it happens? Tell me about that.
I'll be exactly honest. It's
Mhm.
non-existent.
Okay. No, and I want you to understand something. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be ashamed. Don't be like these dudes like you gotta be fucking all these women. And that's a myth.
Oh,
Okay.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
okay, good. Just don't fall for that stupid nonsense, right? And just if it's not there, it's not there. You just do it when you're ready. Cause you know, I was always like that. Like I remember when I was younger and I was around your age, and me and my friends, we used to kick it. We used to do a lot of things. We used to go to Vegas a lot, okay?
Hmm.
And I remember when we would meet up with women, right? And they would hook up with some women, and then when they were done, they would come back. Oh yeah, man, I got me some of that. And I would used to always ask them. I was like, "Hey, man, how does she enjoy it? Do you know if she got her pleasure or whatever? I'm just keep it PG. Did she get her pleasure or whatever?" They'd be like, "I don't know." And I'd be like, I used to think to myself, "Well, how do you not know? You know, isn't that just part of it?" I used to start thinking I was weird because I wanted to know that, right? I used to think I was weird from it. So I said, you know what? I I don't have to be. I made up because they used to always try to tease me. Oh man, you ain't hitting it like this. You ain't getting that. You got where you didn't get it. I made up in my mind that I didn't have to be like them. Right? It was my choice, and it was cool. I wasn't no punk or no simp or whatever the word was back then. So if it's non-existent right now, it's just non-existent. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah, and I
You
mean, I choose for it to be that way
cool. I
because
like
I
that. I
know
like the way you
how
said
I
that.
am.
I like the way
This
you
is the
said
thing.
that.
I know how I am, and especially I had a really big change with kind of coming into my understanding of like my faith right now, and
Hmm.
it it really reinforced some thought patterns that I had before,
Hmm.
and now it's just building upon it with everything when it comes to
Hmm.
financial knowledge, when it comes to relationship knowledge.
Hmm.
I'm just not so like I mentioned before with a comment I said about the whole "you only live once" thing.
Hmm.
I'm not so ready to be like, oh, I gotta go do this and do
Hmm.
that, and oh, I gotta run over here and get the newest car, and oh, I gotta run over here and get $5 million house and all that. I'm
Hmm.
just like, what? What's
Hmm.
everyone running for, man? Why is everyone doing this whole rat race thing for,
Right.
man?
And there is no rush. There's absolutely no rush. I had to come out of that because I got wrapped up in the rush and the rat race and all this other stuff. Once I got out of debt, I realized there is no rush. It's okay to sleep in. I don't the early bird. Hey, only simp sleep and all this other stuff. No, I love sleeping. I love sleeping. I'll wake up at the crack of noon. So what? That's what because I made I made it that way. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly. And it's not like you can't enjoy life. The thing is, I realize that, like you said, especially after I get this house paid down and I start really getting that cash flow in, there's
Mm.
a whole world out here to experience. They always say the thing of, you know, there's always going to be women. It's not like, are the women going to, as far as going back to the relationship, are the women going to just disappear? Are they going to just poof, up, shoot, all the women are gone, I lost my chance? No. They're always going to be
The
being
women are
around.
going to notice
Oh,
that you're
man.
different. Okay, they're going to notice that you're different. I promise you. And I promise you this. And I didn't realize this till later. Once you control sex, because when you're young, sex is pushed all sex this, sexual that, sex. No, once you control that, especially as a man, once you control that, and you come across women that you just let them know, hey, it ain't even about that. They're gonna think it's weird. How come this dude, his first thing is not wanting to have sex with me? Because I don't. I got to see if we're mentally compatible first, because I promise you this, sex is very different when the mental is involved too. It's very different. It's not the same. It's not the same as just plain physical. When the mental is in there too, it's totally different. Because when I was younger, I experienced that stuff, and I experienced the different. And once you experience it, there is no going back to just the plain physical. That's the best way I can explain that. And a woman will know that you're different. That's the best way I can put that. So stick with what you're doing, man. Stick with what makes you happy.
Oh yeah, there's a whole lot of life to live around here, and I don't even know how to explain it. Honestly, this is the first time I've ever had a chance to really talk about this. Honestly,
Try to talk about it, right? There's and I couldn't talk about it when there was nobody for me to talk to it about, because I didn't really know how to explain it until I got to where I'm at today. So now I just openly say it. I don't care if anybody else understands it or not, as long as I understand it. And that's how you should look at it too. As long as you understand, as long as it makes sense to you, that's all that matters.
Exactly. And yeah, that's all I just had to say.
Hey, no problem, man. I thank you for jumping on. Thank you for following, man. I appreciate you, man.
Most definitely, y'all. Thanks for having your stream up, man. Keep doing them.
I can't stop. It's too late. I can't stop. I'm in now.
All right. You take it easy, LJ.
All right, man. I'll let you later.
Peace.
All right. Autumn Tree says, strong woman is just a woman that is capable of figuring things out on her own when need be. She has self-control too, doesn't give up. Yeah, ain't nothing like having a strong woman. I ain't gonna lie. Autumn Tree says, I could say a strong woman is a woman that doesn't kill herself when she feels like she is out of options. Strong is subjective. Right. L. Marshall says that. James says, LJ giving young dude great advice. Don't be pressed on women. Follow your dreams and your passion. Exactly. Don't be, man. As young guys, man, don't make society control. This is the best advice I can give a young man. Control sex. Don't let it control you. All right. Everything changed when I ended up when I could control that urge, control what society says a man should be doing, conquering all these women. Hey, man, if those dudes, check this out, if those dudes want to do that, let them do that. But if they try to come back to you and say you ain't nothing because they're doing it, oh, you put the brakes on that. You'd be like, oh, I don't care what you do. That's your business. That's not my business. SOBC says, strong is a a label created by the modern day feminists. SOBC says, no such thing as a strong woman. Okay. All right. I want you guys to understand something. Words, when you guys hear words and labels, let me make sure you understand something. They're just words. It doesn't mean anything. All that matters is what the word means to you. If somebody tries to put a word or a label on you, says who? That doesn't apply to me. James says the grass feels different and great when you have no house payment. Oh, I bet it does. One day I will know what that feels like. There are strong women, single women. Wayman says, in this day and age, you're not missing much besides headaches. Headaches, herpes, and heartbreak. The 3 H's, huh? Okay. Only deal with women who are suitable for your lifestyle and values. Women will always be around. Exactly. You know what's so crazy? I remember when I was going through. Put it this way: when I quit my job, the best way I can describe it. Okay, so you guys can understand. You go through a detox. And you go through a detox of letting go. I had to let go of my job title. I had to let go of 40-hour work weeks. I had to let go of weekend, Saturday and Sunday are special, holidays off, 3-day weekends, all that. I had to detox from all that. Not only did I detox from that, I detoxed from sex. and it's not like I try to. Okay, it's not like I was saying, hey man, I'm gonna stop having sex. I just didn't want to involve a woman during that process because I just wanted to be alone. All right, and I didn't know why I wanted to be alone, but I was starting to become more and more comfortable and happy just being by myself. And then once I detoxed from all that and was happy from my being by myself. And then when I started getting out there and started dating again, the first thing wasn't to get to have sex with the woman I was going out to see. Now, a lot of women thought that was odd. They used to start saying things like, "Hey, LJ, do you like me? What's wrong with me? What do you mean? What's wrong with you? What? Oh, because I haven't been trying to get you in the bedroom? Is that what it is? Because it's weird. Because I'm sure women, I can only imagine that's got to be on a woman's mind. Hey, this dude just wants to fuck me, right? It's got to be, because that's what the majority is. And then you come across a dude that's not even trying, but I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying their company. Hey, you want to go hang out, go to the movies? You want to go have some dinner? All right, cool. Thanks. All right, I'm gonna drop you off. They'd be like, damn, nigga, you ain't even trying to hit me. What's wrong with me? It was just me. I'm just, hey, cool. If we do, we don't. We do, we do, we don't, we don't. So it wasn't a big deal. Autumn says, strong, having the power to move heavy weights or perform other physical. Oh, she's defining it. Okay. Autumn Tree says, 2, able to withstand great force of pressure. Okay. Autumn Tree says, a woman can be strong. A child can be strong. Anyone can show strength. You're assuming that a woman being strong means that she's not capable of being feminine too. Again, once you find yourself, you won't care labels. You won't care the definition of words. You'll just know you. Put it this way. All right. I'm about energy. Okay. I don't really talk about this. I only talk about this in my members only group, but I'll share it with you guys here on the free side. Okay. I'm about spiritual energy. All right. And what I was doing, like, I went from, instead of seeing a woman and then looking her up and down and seeing her body and say, ooh, she got a fat ass, blah, blah, blah. Right. I just look in her eyes as I'm walking by, or, at a place somewhere. And it's always that second long. There's a regular look, and then there's a look that's longer than the regular look. Okay. Now, sometimes they know they're doing it, sometimes they don't, but it's a look that you gotta be aware. I'm always aware. I'm always paying attention. All right. I look for that. And if it's longer than the normal look, I'll look back, and then I'll look again to make sure that I was looking. And it's not a look like, ooh, like she was looking at me like she wanted me. No, it's an energy look. If that's the best way I can explain to you, right? Once it's something that you see and something that you feel. If I see it and feel it, I approach her. If that makes sense. That's just how I do it. Andre got them flying saucers up there. E-Man says femininity is her strength. Now, if anybody else want to come up here and ask any questions, we're going on 1 hour 53 minutes. We're going to wrap this up in 2 hours. If not, what's up, Screen Learning? Anyone who does not share the same mindset is in debt. There should be a separate channel dedicated to energy and energy dynamics called Dating Minus Debt. Ooh, I like that. Dating Minus Debt. I like that, Screen Learning. Dating Minus Debt. That sounds like it's going to be the title of the new series or something. Dating Minus Debt. Okay. Because that's close to Savings Minus Debt. So Dating Minus Debt. I like that a lot. I'm going to leave that up. That's a great idea. Just Son of Israel said that. That's a great idea. I was over there watching Screen Learning's videos about that chick that was in the car pouring pop and cutting up the seats. I was like, damn. How do you even get involved with a person like that? I would never get involved with a woman like that ever to even get to that point. But then again, if somebody comes and uses another, like, see people, this is what I don't get, right? When people use other people, that's another human being, right? You just think you're going to just dog a person and you're just going to walk away and live your life. That's another human being. You don't know what that person's going to do. I saw that, man. I was like, man. And when you see a person just completely lose it like that, cutting up seats and pouring pop everywhere, and that type of person's in total unconsciousness. Okay, when you don't care that you're committing a crime, that you're about to lose the time in your life and fines and buried in fines and debt and possibly jail time, she has went into total unconsciousness because this dude probably just used her. And that's horrible, man. I just don't think people should be using other people like that. But hey, that's me. I personally wouldn't do it. I wouldn't even get involved in that, because you don't get to walk away with that. You don't just get to walk away and live your life. If you go and dog another person and use them or for sex or money or whatever, and you just think you're going to just dog them, leave them, and then you're going to go through life without it not coming back on you. Oh no, nobody gets away with that. You don't get, it might not happen now. It might not happen 5 years from now. It might not happen 10 years from now, but you're going to get your turn. Everybody gets their turn. You just don't get to do people like that and live your life carefree. It just doesn't happen. Appreciate it, Scream, man. I appreciate it. I got to get that mic set up, man. Your mic is like crystal freaking clear, man. It's like, damn, that's a clear mic. All right, any other questions, man? We're going to wrap this up, man. Hey, what's up, Mama Max? How you doing? I like this. Yeah. Hey, Cosmic, I'm glad you agree too. I'm gonna use that. Dating minus debt. I'm gonna use that. That's gonna be the new series for sure. I like that. That says everything that I'm trying to say, but include and making sure that it still involves savings minus debt. You know what I'm saying? It still goes under the umbrella of savings minus debt. So dating minus debt. I like that. The mic I use is a RE27ND. Okay. All right. I am definitely using that for sure. All right, everyone. I thank you for what's El Marshall say? I myself was a slave and been with slaves. When I wanted to change up, pay bills, relationships went south. Right. I know what you're saying, man. You know, and you can't, this is what I suggest people do not do. If you're debt free and you come across a person that you want to date and you want to help them become debt free, unless you can help, don't move in with them. Don't tie your finances with them. You can help them and give them some pointers. If they don't do it themselves, you're going to have to let that go. All right. You cannot get involved, because if you get too deep in there and you're debt free, a slave is going to think you're debt free. Now that we're together, you're debt free. You can pay all the bills because you have no debt. That's what's going to happen. All right. So be very careful with that. Very careful with that. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone, for jumping in. All right. Thank you, Screen Learning, for that new title. I am definitely going to use that, Dating Minus Debt. I am definitely using that for sure. Oh, excuse me. Let me make a screenshot of that right now, because I know myself. All right. All right. All right. Thank you, everyone. Until next time. Oh, wait. Let me see. What you say? Atticus says, okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Atticus. Appreciate you, man. Andre says, hate is the tool of the week. It's the tool of the week. Tony Montana, how do you feel about married young couple that both had no type of guidance that's trying to become debt free. As long as you guys are on the same page, you guys should be good. You must be doing it together. Okay. You must be doing it together, especially a young couple, you guys. And if you do it together, you will be successful. All right. Definitely write that down. We'll make a great mini series. Oh yeah, for sure. All right, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for participating today. I appreciate you all. Thank you for joining the SMD family today. You guys can, if you like, you can join the Discord server. The link's in the description of the video. Or you can join the members only, where I tell more deeper thoughts on the members only and it's not a constant thing. It's not like I do it every Tuesday. Sometimes people know that I'm going to do it, and sometimes just random. Okay. But there are things that I discuss over there that I really don't discuss on the free side, because it wouldn't make sense to slaves. You know what I'm saying? Just wouldn't, not calling everybody a slave on this side of the things, but I'm just saying that the majority of people are in debt on this side, and they wouldn't really understand what I talk about on that side. But anyway, thank you everyone for joining, and until next time. All right. See you later.